Hi, everybody. This is Gad Saad. Earlier today, I held my last class of the semester. So, big relief that the semester is over, although it's always sad to say goodbye to the students. Today, I wanted to briefly recap what took place between yesterday and today with LeBron James. So, some of you know that he put up a tweet where he showed the image of the cop who shot the knife wielding young woman who was attacking another young woman. And he put up LeBron put up the police officer's photo and said, "You're next." And then he eventually deleted it, which speaks to the fact that it was a ill-advised move. I noticed it, and so I started going after him yesterday. Let me read you some of the stuff. There are several tweets, but I won't read all of them. So, one of the tweets, by the way, when I replied to him, has so far received well over 1 million views. So, imagine if King James used his platform to promote universal humanist values decoupled from tribal racial politics. Imagine if he channeled his inner MLK, Martin Luther King, instead of offering justifications for China's abhorrent treatment of its citizens. Mr. James, you have no moral compass. And then later I added, one of the most privileged human beings in the history of humanity, and I tag him, has the opportunity to elevate people of all ilk, to sow unity, to promote universal humanism, to enrich the human spirit, to preach brotherly love. What does he do all day instead? Racial division, racial division, racial division, racial division, racial division, racial division. Take a nap whilst complaining about being a victim. Resume racial division, racial division, racial division, racial division. And remember, if you criticize him, you're a racist. And those words were very prophetic because I woke up this morning to just an unbelievable onslaught of hate mail, typically from noble people of color, who, if you see, just go to the thing and read it. If you see what they're writing, if any person were to levy such insults at them, their careers would be over, they would be ostracized, they would be fired, but they have a right to speak in the worst possible way. So, for example, when I contextualized the very, very difficult reality that LeBron must face as a billionaire going from his home to Malibu to the Staples Center to play his basketball game because, he has to avoid all of the cops that are trying to shoot him because there's a daily genocide of black people in the U.S. And I contextualized that to the reality that we faced escaping genocide in the Middle East because, Lebanese Jews were not a loved commodity during the Lebanese Civil War. Then all of those noble people would insult our experience, make fun of it. What a punk I was to run away from Lebanon. Yes, because as an 11-year-old, what I should have done instead is sit and fight all of the militia who were dead set on separating my family's head from the rest of our bodies. What a coward I was as an 11-year-old to flee the imminent death of myself and the rest of my family. And this is the reality that we face now in the West. But here's what I did. Look at it. The reason why people are afraid to speak is precisely because they're unable to withstand the barrage that I felt, that I experienced the last day. I woke up. It's not pleasant to wake up to all that hate, but I look at it, I do this, and I move on, knowing that truth, individual dignity, freedom, common sense, logic, the true ideals of Martin Luther King are on my side. And therefore, if you demystify their ability to threaten you with faux calls of being racist and so on. I mean, imagine telling a Lebanese Jew who has my personal history that what a punk I am to whine about escaping Lebanon. When my parents were kidnapped by Fatah and tortured, that's garbage compared to what LeBron goes through. I'm not satirizing it. Go read it. So this is the world that we live in now, where there is no sense of proportionality. There is no sense of common decency. You should see how 20-year-old noble women of color are speaking to me. I mean, you think, who raised them? Like, who would speak to a total stranger who's old enough to be your father? Never mind who I am personally, Gad Saad. Just the fact that you would speak in such an uncivil manner to another human being with such hatred, it's just unbelievable. But of course, they're allowed to do that because, systemic racism. But again, you have the power to go like this. And if you do that, then you'll keep trucking on, and eventually this tide of idea pathogens will be eradicated, and we will return to a just and civil society where individual dignity is the supreme calculus by which we judge people. Not collective tribalism, individual dignity. Have a good night, everybody. Cheers.